This was not a good night for the president. Everything he touched was a loser. Trump hasn't been this embarrassed since he found out there was a Donald Trump Jr. If you're tired of all the losing, fear not, he's got an excuse.
But obviously the World Series morale boost was short-lived because America is still in the throes of the government shutdown. So let's get into it with our ongoing coverage of Shutdown Showdown 2025.
Brace yourself, tonight's political circus became a full-on demolition derby. Jimmy Kimmel and Jon Stewart didn't just roast Trump, they obliterated him. Jokes so savage they need a forensic team. Late-night comedy isn't just alive, it's wielding a flamethrower. The internet is melting, Trump is flailing, and chaos reigns. Stay tuned, it's about to get gloriously messy.
Pardon someone he says he knows nothing about. Someone who made his family money, and people are okay with this. Everything he says is the opposite of true.
Comey's known as a dirty cop. I'm not known as a dirty person.
But most notably, this weekend marked the passage of the legislative coup that was Trump's big tax and spending bill. Now, I'm going to let you know, there were some cuts.
Medicaid cuts alone could total roughly $930.
Jimmy Kimmel kicked off the comedy blast with a grin like he'd just found a leaked diary titled, How to Lose an Election in 10 Easy Steps. The crowd sensed it. Jokes hotter than a 3 a.m. microwave burrito were coming. And the target, Trump, blissfully unaware that he was about to be roasted mercilessly.
With him, he wrote, Trump wasn't on the ballot and shutdown were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight. Now, if Republicans had won and he wasn't on the ballot, would he take credit for that? Oh, yes, he definitely would, but he lost. And then he posted this. He posted, and so it begins, which was either a response to Mamdani winning the mayoral race or he just sat.
Then Jon Stewart entered the comedy battlefield, exuding the calm fury of someone who had said enough and meant it. From the first word, he unleashed precision sarcasm like a scalpel in expert hands, cutting through Trump's chaos. No ramp-up, no warning, just full-speed roasting, leaving the target scrambling before he even realized the battle had begun.
This past weekend, the shutdown took its worst turn yet, as notices began to go out for health insurance premium hikes, and millions of Americans also lost their SNAP, or food stamp benefits. It's as heartbreaking as it is infuriating, but there's one American who's taken this harder than anyone else.
The president is desperate for SNAP benefits to flow to the American citizens who desperately rely upon it.
He is a big-hearted president.
If you're enjoying this video, subscribe and hit the bell. Kimmel began like a chef serving chaos, describing Trump with the flair of a novelty salesman pushing a product nobody wanted. The man radiated confident self-absorption. A living, I meant to do that. It wasn't cruelty, just observational science, like pointing out gravity while the world watched in disbelief.
I mean, seriously, what is that supposed to mean? What would motivate him to post, and so it begins at almost midnight? What would compel him to contact his social media guy, Dan Scavino, that late at night to say, Dan, I need you to post, and so it begins. All caps, Mr. President. Yeah, all caps, you idiot. And put a ... in front of it, too. No wonder Dan Scavino looks like this. I mean, the man's face is all caps.
Stewart highlighted Trump's sitcom-like behavior, acting like a misunderstood genius the audience should cheer for. Instead, he resembled that last-minute group project partner who contributes nothing yet insists on being CEO. Every gesture, every line amplified the absurdity. The crowd couldn't contain themselves. Laughter erupted, perfectly timed, as Stewart's precision sarcasm exposed the comedy lurking in Trump's chaotic performance.
He did just recently dump diarrhea on all of us. I don't know if you remember that. He cares a lot about the American people. Obviously, he does have a diarrhea plane. Maybe that is out of love.
Kimmel hit back like a comedy sprinter, making it clear he wasn't easing up. Every Trump decision, he said, sprang from the same place that inspires toddlers to shove forks in outlets: pure curiosity, chaos, and zero awareness of consequences. Picture Trump sprinting shirtless toward disaster like a frat boy whose only superpower is misplaced confidence. Stewart turned to the speeches, not quoting, just channeling the chaotic energy with wild hand gestures, negotiating with invisible bees. The audience gasped for air, laughter unstoppable. Trump could torch a building and still call it leadership. The rhythm was perfect. Dunk, audience gasps, Jimmy smirks, Stewart slices.
He's a big football guy. Joe Montaningbed made an appearance at the Commanders game yesterday where he received a decidedly negative reception from the crowd.
Please welcome the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and Secretary of War, D.K. Bill, and the permanent president in the seats of our United States military.
It's like a whole stadium full of Melanias.
Stewart stormed into history, declaring Trump's greatest rival wasn't another politician, it was reality. Every inconvenient fact was swatted away like mosquitoes at a poolside shoot, dramatized as if each statistic were a personal enemy. Facts were powerless against an ego in a cape. Kimmel turned to the legal era, portraying courtroom visits like unwanted red carpet events, lawyers agging visibly under the glare. Stewart circled back to comeback attempts, rallies and speeches that felt like auditions for man who desperately wants applause, flailing theatrically to channel Trump's triumphal certainty. The crowd roared, no quotes needed. The energy spoke louder than words.
But of course, I'm only seeing the small portion of the day he spends dumping diarrhea from a plane on the American people. I'm sure that's not the entirety of his efforts on our behalf.
He is so resolutely focused on delivering for the American people. All day, every day, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day.
Kimmel targeted the fan merch era, red hats, slogans, t-shirts resembling uninspired motivational posters. He quipped about Trump's marketing team running out of adjectives for strength while sidestepping critical thinking. Stewart reflected on the excuses era, where every blunder became a kid stealing cookie-style justification, tracing a map of Trump logic like a wildlife documentary. Laughter roared. Kimmel returned with a medical metaphor. If self-praise were calories, Trump faced spiritual obesity. The audience erupted. Then came the play-by-play, taking credit for hurricanes, sunshine, lunar eclipses. "You're welcome," he added. Every absurdity became a punchline, a relentless tour through delusion, ego, and the comedy gold of unchecked self-importance.
You think he can hear the booze, or does the narcissism force field block it all out? And then Trump, who, one of the fun, underrated things about him is how little he knows about anything. Like, this is a guy who helped start the USFL. He owned a football team, and yet anyone who knows anything about football can immediately tell he knows nothing about football.
How many touchdowns did you have back then?
Oh,
6,
right.
7?
I'm not sure I had any. I'm not sure. I would have liked him as a quarterback.
You definitely would have had like 6, 7 touchdowns there.
He puts it in your hands. Now you see some of the guys with the powerful arms, and they throw it so hard. Tom Brady told me once. He said that you got to put it in their hands. You got to help them out a little bit.
Yeah, that's incredible insight.
Stewart absorbed the chaos, reenacting Trump's body language, dramatic finger points, sweeping gestures, and applause-loaded pauses, turning the stage into a masterclass in exaggerated ego. The audience was captivated, witnessing sarcasm personified. Kimmel shifted to debates, portraying Trump treating them like dodgeball, dodging questions, substituting answers with unrelated stories delivered with theatrical confidence. Stewart moved on to imagined victories, illustrating a man blaming gravity for spilled drinks. He then reenacted rally speeches filled with chest-puffing bravado yet devoid of coherence, hopping between topics like a frog on hot pavement. Each illogical transition drew uproarious laughter, a perfect storm of comedic timing, exaggeration, and absurd reality observation.
It's a lot of painful cuts on a lot of vulnerable populations. But to be fair, at least America will finally make a dent on the deficit.
This mega bill will increase the deficit by $3.4 trillion.
What the f***? Holy shit! What? You somehow managed to severely cut the safety net and expand the deficit. That's impressive. That's one of those, hey man, how did you gain all that weight? Ozempic. That's something that's hard to do.
Kimmel navigated the business chapter of the roast, depicting Trump's deals as so chaotic that even seasoned monopoly players would abandon the board in disbelief. Each deal, described with childlike awe, resembled a macaroni craft gone wrong. Stewart followed, reenacting Trump bragging about intelligence, his tone suggesting the discovery of shoelaces was a personal invention. Tweets became emotional sprinting exercises, critics were mortal enemies, and typos were strategic choices. Kimmel added lawsuits like unwanted collectibles, while Stewart portrayed press conferences as performance art in confident confusion. Back and forth, the roast erupted like a fireworks finale gone haywire, blending chaos, exaggeration, and comedic brilliance.
And that team photo, let's have a look at that team photo again, because there he is, number 85 in the military academy. This is about 4 years before those terrible bone spurs sprouted up and prevented him from serving his country in Vietnam. We probably would have won that if he was able to fight. Before he arrived, Trump had his plane fly over the stadium, dazzling fans with what some are calling the greatest flyover ever.
I just want to say, was that the greatest flyover ever? Nobody's ever done a flyover like that.
That's right. No one ever has done it. It was the greatest flyover and the greatest.
Kimmel dissected Trump's final act, rewriting history live, claiming events everyone saw never occurred. Stewart's reenactments of mental gymnastics left the audience in stitches, imagining cognitive acrobatics so extreme they pulled imaginary muscles. Kimmel summed up what makes Trump endlessly mockable. Unshakable confidence paired with zero self-awareness, like a motivational speaker trapped in a person losing arguments to toasters. The roast faded not with triumph but with a lesson. Some run on power, some on ambition, some on the fuel of believing they're always right, even against reality itself. Lights dimmed, applause settled, yet the material multiplied like gremlins in a jacuzzi.
Even though some of our nation's most vulnerable are taking a pay cut, fear not. Other people are getting a raise.
$157 billion in new spending for the military and another $150 billion for immigration and border enforcement.
$150 billion for immigration and border enforcement? Are you telling me all this crazy shit that has been happening is broke ice?
Kimmel leaned back, scrolling through a mental highlight reel of Trump moments, realizing they could power a decade-long comedy festival. Every entrance carried the energy of a man convinced he was about to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. Even a fast food visit became a history-making event in Trump's mind. Stewart noted his timeline never matched reality. Normal people remembered events, Trump remembered legends, conversations became applause. He rewrote history live, with reality as background noise. Kimmel and Stewart didn't exaggerate, they just observed. The ultimate punchline, Trump's unshakable self-belief, a stage, and a microphone were all the comedic fuel anyone could ask for.